Hey, have you heard of Honor de Balzac?
Is that a dirty joke?
No, it's a guy who apparently drank about 47 cups of coffee a day for almost 25 years.
Oh, what? Tell me more.
Yeah, it says here he really thrived. During that time, he wrote 47 novels, 12 novellas, 18 short stories, and 8 plays. And it also says over that period, he created about 2,472 named characters in his work.
Dude was a gangster, man. So he really thrived, huh?
Yeah, he did. Except he died at age 51 of heart failure. So,
Oh.
yeah. What's up, everybody? My name is Schuyler Diehm. I'm the founder of Reach Fat Loss and Fitness, where our goal is to help get you in the best shape of your life, lose weight, and most importantly, keep it off, all without eating 5-6 times a day, without counting calories, without the typical stuff that is not enjoyable and that takes too much time. What we're going to talk about in this video, as well as every other video I put out, has helped clients of mine see some really awesome results, lose weight, build muscle, get in the best shape of their life, feel healthy. The goal is to help you do that as well. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe, putting out new videos every single week. And with that being said, let's get into this video. So, plain and simple, coffee, is it healthy? Now, you guys are probably sick of this answer right now, but my answer is it depends. As you can see, I am drinking a cup of coffee right now, so it can't be that unhealthy. But why does it depend? So in theory, coffee in its simplest form, just to get this out of the way, from a good source is healthy. It is good for you. Coffee has been associated with cognitive function improvement, physical performance improvement, mood improvement, lowering the risk of brain disease, gallstones, kidney stones, anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, helps metabolic syndrome, and even helps you live longer. In fact, a Harvard study found that moderate intake of coffee, so about 2 to 5 cups a day, is linked to a lower likelihood of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, liver and endometrial cancers, Parkinson's disease, and even depression. And if you guys have ever had a warm cup of coffee on a cold day, you know it can improve your mental health. So let's go over some important facts, right? Because there are things that we want to be careful of when we drink coffee. I've actually got 5 things to pay attention to with coffee. 5 ways that a potentially healthy and beneficial cup of coffee could turn into something that is unhealthy for you. So number 1 is timing, right? How do you want to time your coffee? Simply put, coffee should be cut off at about noon and latest, I'd say 2 p.m. each day. Drinking coffee too close to bed, even if you can fall asleep right away, is going to interrupt the quality of your sleep. You're not going to be able to go into as deep of a sleep. Coffee actually blocks the receptors in your brain that tell you when you're tired. So even though your body does need that recovery, you're not able to feel it the same. And the crazy part about coffee is it has a half-life of about 5 hours, meaning that 5 hours after you drink it, half of the dosage of caffeine is still in your body. Meaning if you had 100 milligrams at 2 p.m., at 7 p.m., 50 milligrams are still going to be in your system. And then 5 more hours after that, around midnight, you're still going to have 25 grams. 5 a.m. in the morning, you're going to have 12.5 grams, and so on. And so you can see if you're consistently drinking cups of coffee every single day throughout the day, you're going to have this caffeine, this coffee buildup, and your body's never going to be able to fully get rid of it, which is why when people do go on caffeine detoxes, they can be very uncomfortable with headaches, low energy, fatigue, a bunch of other things that are just nasty and not fun. So my general rule of thumb is no caffeine after 12. I do make exceptions, 2 p.m. I'll every once in a while, if I'm out on a coffee date or something where there's coffee involved, I'm okay with having it a little bit later. But my daily, weekly schedule, I'm normally not having caffeine after 12 p.m. And this includes pre-workout as well. But of course, we're talking in this video just about coffee. The second thing we want to focus on when it comes to coffee is the type of coffee. We want to make sure that this coffee is coming from a high quality source. The truth is that most coffees out there do contain quite a bit of molds, toxins, and pesticides. And if you aren't careful where you get your coffee from, there's a high likelihood that the one you're drinking does as well. So the easiest thing you can do here, my recommendation is just buy organic, buy fresh. If you're going to somewhere like Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's or Starbucks, you're most likely getting a coffee that's not as fresh and that has a higher likelihood of these other things. But make sure when you do drink coffee, it is fresh, it is high quality, and ideally organic. So before we get into numbers 3 and 4, I'd love if you could leave me a comment below. How many cups of coffee are you currently drinking a day? And how do you typically drink that coffee? I'd love to hear from you. All right, the third thing that we want to be careful of when it comes to coffee is the brewing method. Now, there are so many different ways to brew coffee, from pour over to Keurig to Chemex to espresso machine to all these different ways. And so what we want to be careful of when we're brewing is 2 things. Number 1, if we are using a K-cup, that we use reusable filters, because the typical classic plastic K-cups are going to allow a lot of microplastics to enter the coffee we drink. Microplastics are becoming a big problem problem in today's society and can lead to a lot of issues with the body. And so if you think about it, you're sending hot water directly into this plastic. There are going to be byproducts of that plastic that go into your coffee. And so again, you don't have to give up your Keurig if that's super convenient to you, but what I would recommend is either getting a reusable K-Cup or finding a brand or a company that uses K-Cups that use something other than plastic. And then the second thing I'd be very cautious about, especially if you're using just typical brewing coffee with a filter, is that you don't get bleached filters. Bleached filters contain a lot of these toxins and dioxins, and it's estimated that about 40 to 70% of the dioxins in these bleach filters will actually end up in your coffee. There's really no reason for them to be bleached. It might affect the taste a little bit, but I would just make sure if you are buying coffee filters that you always buy them unbleached. So that's number 3. And then the fourth thing to be very, very cautious of when you do make your coffee is what's in it. Are you doing a sugar bomb? Are you going to McDonald's and getting a million different flavors, or Starbucks and a million different flavors and a ton of sugar and a ton of processed cream? Make sure that if you're drinking your coffee that you have clean ingredients in it, because if you're having a bunch of sugar, even if you're just drinking one coffee in the morning, you may be getting 30 plus grams of sugar that are going to massively spike your insulin, cause a crash, you're going to have low energy, and then you're going to want another cup of coffee to basically revive you, and then that cycle is going to repeat if you get more sugar in that second coffee. So black, by far, that's how I typically drink my coffee. By far the best, by far the most recommended. Of course, if you're fasting, black coffee is like a savior. If you're just not a fan of black, there's a couple other ways to flavor it. You could use things like stevia or vanilla extract. You could use MCT oil to reduce your appetite and speed up your metabolism. You could create a bulletproof coffee with grass-fed butter to improve digestion, reduce hunger. There are so many different ways to do it, but just make sure if you are putting things in your coffee to change the way it tastes, that you're using real ingredients. You're not using these processed things that aren't gonna make you feel good. So that's all I got for you. That's like an entire video I did with me just holding this cup of coffee. I appreciate you being here. If this helped you in any way, make sure you like this video and you subscribe to the channel, because I'm putting out new videos every single week. And if you are just very overwhelmed with all the different health aspects out there and you are working on losing weight and you're sick of these strategies that require you to weigh all your food or count every calorie or eat 5, 6, 7 times a day, check the training in the description of this video to learn about our fat loss strategy. I really do believe it's the easiest, simplest, and best one out there. But with that being said, thank you as always for tuning in to your continued health success. And with that being said, of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.